Welcome back, everyone, to the After the Scales podcast, episode 48, presented by DJD Graphics. I'm Jacob Dove with Phenom Motorsports, along with Shaun Blight of Canadian Racing Tours. On today's episode, we have driver the number 70A Big Block Modified out of Canandaigua, New York, Alex PAYNE. Alex, thanks for being on the podcast today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So Shaun and I both spoke to you at the Charlotte World Finals. Obviously, you didn't really pan out the way you wanted it. Just kind of recap, a little bit about the experience. Obviously, it's still a huge event with so many cars showing up, and you got the sprint cars and late model guys running with you there. Just talk about, the competition you stacked up against going into Charlotte.
Yeah, it's always fun going there and making the trip with everybody. I love watching the late models, so that's a cool part of it too. We didn't have quite the week that we wanted to have, but that's a part of it, and we'll just rebuild and come back stronger.
Yeah, we're gonna say going into the week. I mean, you had good speed on Thursday there before you blew a tire, and then lost a motor the next night. Just didn't want it to detract from the season you had, though, Alex, because you turned some heads this year. I think that's fair to say. You got your first win at Brockville. You won the championship at Outlaw. Won Rookie of the Year with the Super DirtCAR. Just recap your 2024 overall for us.
Yeah, it's incredible. I'm beyond thankful for the opportunity to do what I'm doing and the people that are behind me helping make it all happen. I'm proud of the team and what we've done and where we came from, from starting on a Friday night running a sportsman car, just doing what we could to be on tour and being in contention is just unreal. And, we had 6 wins and, a couple different racetracks, and I feel like we had a lot of speed. The records show, we had a bunch of top 5s and some good finishes, some ones that got away too, but overall it was, my best season by far, and I hope we can come, back next year and just do what we did and maintain, because I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, Alex, you end up finishing 7th in the Super DirtCAR point standings, and along with 11th place in the short track Super Series. Just talk about, you're running against guys with so much more experience than you. Matt Shepard, Matt Williamson. You finished just behind in the points in the Super DirtCAR behind Jack Lehner, who we also had on this podcast. Just talk about, all the guys that you got stacked up against you, and then going night in and night out, running against those top level of big block modifieds.
Yeah, it's not been easy, especially with guys like Matt and what they've done when Friesen's there on the occasion. It's like it's tough. It's tough throwing those guys, and I feel like we pieced together a good season on the tour. We had not too many mishaps, really. I mean, I came into Charlotte 6th in points with a good comfortable points gap over Lehner, but nothing went right, and you end up with I think we were on 16th after that flat, and then 2 DNFs just crushed it. But other than that, I mean, it was just a challenge, racing with those guys, and then seeing, I guess, their consistency in what they do, and they're smart about what they do, and you learn that over time.
And I'm a big block modified fan. I don't get to quite as many races as I would like to. I wish they'd come closer to Southern Ontario here more often. But I think a lot of us are kind of waiting for this next group of drivers to come along. Obviously, Shepard and Williamson, these guys, they're not done by any means. They're still very competitive, and they're still young guys, youngish guys. But yourself, we had Dalton Slack on, Alexyanowski, Jack Lehner. There's a really solid group of young drivers coming up through the ranks. Are you noticing that locally, just from sportsmen up to big blocks and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a handful of guys for sure that you kind of know we're going to be good, and there's no two ways about it, and got good backing. And yeah, it's cool to see, kind of all of us come through and do what we're doing and be competitive. Yankowski was, I think, I'm doing the similar things that he's done with the sportsman cars for a couple of years, and then modified. We both had a little bit of success so far, and hopefully that continues on to just, someday becoming the guys that everybody's after. Obviously that's where we're all looking at the two mats and whatnot, and hopefully there's a day where somebody's looking at us and just you continue that trend for years. You have to have the new guys coming in to keep this going.
Yeah, and speaking of youth, you're only 19 years old, and with 6 seasons and 173 starts, you still have 13 career wins. So you've accomplished a bit of, have a lot of momentum going into your young racing career. Just talk about your background with racing. Obviously, a lot of people outside of New York and the Northeast don't really get to see a lot of these modified guys come up through the ranks. So kind of talk about your background. Obviously, your family's been involved with racing, so share with us about that.
Yeah, so racing for me, my family started in probably, oh man, I'd have to say probably the 80s area with my grandpa. Wheat Sport and Rolling Wheels and Canandaigua and all them places in a street stock. And then my dad, started in 2000, and he's raced up until, pretty much last year. He actually raced a little bit this year, not a whole lot, but it's been, in the family forever. And that's, I'm just proud to carry that on and take it to the farthest it's been, and be able to do what we're doing. And I know my grandpa's certainly proud, and my dad is too. And it's a really big family effort is what makes it all happen, and that's, I think, my favorite part.
Yeah, absolutely. They'd be proud. I always get a kick out of watching young guys like yourself, and especially Alexyanowski this year, have the success that they're having against Williamson and Shepherd. I love seeing young guys come up and beat those guys. It's really cool just as a fan too. Talk about 2025. It's obviously, it seems like it's far away, but it's not, because if you're heading down to Volusia, it's only a couple months away. Talk about your 2025 and maybe some of the goals that you've got for yourself.
It's looking like it's going to be similar to what we did this year. I'd love to do the more of the short track Super Series stuff. We didn't get a chance to do much of that this year. Just it's tough with the difference in the tires and the open motors and stuff like that. I'm suited for the big block stuff, and that's what we've always had, and what the Nardozzi guys have brought along and stuff like that. So I think goal wise, I mean, we won the championship at Outlaw this year, and we went into championship night at Canandaigua with Williamson, Shepherd, Britton, and myself all having a really good shot at winning it. So I think maybe run top three in points at both places and try to get to that top five on the tour would be just incredible.
And big block modifieds as a whole, I'm down here in Florida, so we only get to really see you guys come down when you come to Volusia and Alltech. So I'm looking at old modified magazines and how far, the modifieds have really come from over the years and the decades. What would you say, there's a lot of big car counts at a lot of these big races, but as a whole, I feel like the modifieds haven't really, expanded really like the sprint cars and the late models have recently. So what do you think the modifieds can do to really expand their brand to kind of get more outside of just the Northeast area?
It's tough. It's it's at that regional kind of level, and then obviously your late models and your sprint cars are national, but I don't know really. I mean, they've been around forever. It just hasn't taken off, and hasn't. It's everything's based here. You got Bicknell, which is right in Canada, pretty much right here. New York area, TO, New York, Troyer, New York. It's like there's nothing. It hasn't gone anywhere. Is really. I know there's a little bit happening. I think it's Lakeview with the sportsman cars, but really, I don't know what it takes or what it needs. It's just kind of always been where it's at right now. It's not bad, but it's not what some of us would like to do as far as all the traveling. But it's cool that we get to do. We bounce around to like 6 or 7 states and stuff like that. But it would be cool to have double that. I don't know. I'm not sure what it takes to get there.
So what are your future goals for yourself, Alex? Are you someone that you're happy running the big blocks, or do you have future ambitions? You'd like to climb the ladder, do some other things?
I mean, the big blocks are definitely where, you know, my heart's at, where we've always been. But growing up, I think that I always looked at the super late model stuff. Like, if I could do that, that's what I'd love to do someday, maybe. To, you know, follow like the Lucas or the World of Outlaw tour. I mean, obviously there's always that step of like, you know, the NASCAR stuff. That's a really long reach with, you know, you need a lot of backing for that kind of thing. So, you know, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. But if I'm driving race cars for a living, that's all I've ever wanted. So I'm happy with all of it.
I like that answer. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned about, you know, a lot of backing, and we talk about it a lot on our podcast about how much sponsorship and resources go into racing a lot throughout the year. Talk about, you know, the people and the sponsors who are really helping you get, you know, to the racetrack night in and night out and help support you.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I can't say enough about what my dad has done to get me started and get me where we are. And we had a lot of success with the modifieds with just his stuff, and that's carried on to, you know, meeting the you know, Mike and Jay Nardozzi. Those guys have been huge. You know, they've doubled and tripled what we had, and we're a beautiful hauler, and always have the things we need to get the job done. I feel with all that. So I mean, you have to have that, and they've made it a reality. And you know, Billy the Kid under the hood with all the engine stuff, he's been huge with us. I think he is the best. He works with us and does pretty much anything we need, and can't ask for anything better. And you know, Billistein shocks with iBox springs, and it's a huge, really big group of people, and it's starting to flow now. We're a couple years into it, and I hope it just, you know, keeps gaining momentum.
All right, so let's have some fun here and talk about your merch, because Jacob and I are big t-shirt, hoodie racing collectors. And walking through the pits, you didn't have a big trailer kind of outside the speedway, but you had a tent set up, and you had a couple people. I guess it was probably your mom working in the trailer, and you have some really awesome merch, man. Like we were over there checking some of it out. So I'm gonna throw up some pictures here, and while I'm doing that, you'll also notice above my head we have a QR code. You can scan that. That'll take you right to Alex's QR, or to his merch page. You can purchase anything that you see on here, and we encourage you to do so. So while I'm bringing up some of these t-shirt designs, maybe just talk about who helps you design these. Are they your ideas, or group effort, that kind of thing, and who all helps you out with that?
Yeah, the merch stuff is, I always started with just having, you know, like a shirt each year and stuff, and it's kind of evolved into doing some cool stuff like what you got there. I don't know, I just was scrolling through, and you see like some like the hot rod shirts and stuff like that, and Roadrunner, I think it is, maybe, and stuff like that. But you know, we did that, and that was great for the kids and
This
stuff.
was a good one.
Yeah, that one there is that explains itself, right? I mean, they kind of started calling us the Slide Job Express, so we gotta make them great again and bring them back, you know. So
this was
that was our that's car shirt from 23. But no, Wicked Tees is great. Greg and Jeffrey and the guys over there are really good to us, and some, you know, they do it all in house, and it's you know, they do beautiful work, really. I mean, I think our stuff looks super good. Jimmy Reiner with you know, the graphics that he does to make the cars look good and stuff, and it's really cool. You know, we just got a trailer. We're gonna have that next year, and my mom and my girlfriend are gonna work that, and we're really looking forward to throwing some. We got some cool ideas for the winter time too. So if the fans like the variety and the cool different stuff, we'll keep it going. You know.
Yeah. So you mentioned Jimmy Reiner. He's the guy that designed your race cars themselves.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because we were talking, like your car is the nicest looking. I especially like the white.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen the black, and it's cool. It, for me, it's a little too. You got it?
I got one right here.
Okay, perfect. There we go.
There
we go. Make the screen bigger so you show that off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's my background prop actually right now for this.
I might have to get one of those next year.
Yeah.
You know, I was looking at your black car and I was like, it's a little too Matt Shepherdy. And then I thought I saw the white one and it's like, it stands out. It's different. It's unique. I love it. I think you should keep it. What are you keeping that for next year?
Yeah, we're gonna have both. You know, the white car and the black car we're gonna keep. Not gonna change much anything there, but no, you know, race wrap group with Jim and them is. I think we have some beautiful stuff. You know, we won the best appearing car at Super Dirt Week out of all the cars in the pit area. You know, all the divisions. So I think that speaks volumes itself. And yeah, it's certainly a super detailed, you know, car. All the flames are all outlined with chrome. There's a lot of detail going on, and I really like the look of it. So.
And I'm hoping to see that beautiful race car of yours at Evolution coming up here in a couple months. So briefly talk, before Shaun gets into our rapid fire segment about, what you're looking forward to Evolution. Obviously, it's a big race. It's a chance for, you guys to come down from chilly New York and kind of cool off down here in Florida. So, and you get to chase a Gator trophy. So kind of talk about that.
Yeah, that's all coming up with All Tech and then Florida with Volusia and stuff. So I look forward to that, and once again racing with the late models that's always a good time, and those tracks are unique. There's nothing like them. No, we're looking forward to that and making the long tow down and seeing what we can do. And like you said, they have the Big Gator Championship with the points and stuff like that. So. I don't know. We'll see. Normally, we get some rain that time of year, which isn't any fun. We've rained a couple of them races out, but hopefully we get to put all the races together and maybe go race for a championship.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate you coming on, Alex. Before we let you go, we always end with our DJD Gear Rapid Fire segment. We've got 10 questions for you, and we just fire them off, and you answer the first thing that comes to your head. So,
oh boy,
don't worry, nothing too difficult. We don't like to stump anybody here. All right. So, why the number 70?
My grandpa's number.
All right. And what's your earliest memory of going to a racetrack?
Syracuse with my dad, and I don't know what year. I was little.
Okay. We like to ask this one of guys from smaller towns. What's the best thing to do in Canandaigua, New York?
Man, I don't know. I'd say there's a couple things to do. I don't know. Go get pizza somewhere is probably.
All right. What's one track that you wish the big blocks raced at?
Eldora.
All right. That's what we asked Anthony Perego last week, and that's what he said too. Outside of your family, who was your racing hero growing up?
Alan Johnson.
Okay. Now, this one I like to ask anyone from Central or Western New York, just selfishly, because whenever I'm down there, what's the best place to get chicken wings?
I might get some hate for this, but I don't eat chicken wings. They got to be boneless.
Those are just chicken nuggets. You realize that. There's no such thing as boneless wings, man.
I've had one. I think I've had one chicken wing, and I set it back down. So, no, I'm a big. Anybody that knows me knows boneless.
All right. All right. So where's the best place to get boneless wings then?
There's a place in Waterloo called Connie's Diner.
Okay.
Good boneless wings there.
All right. All right. We like to shout out these local establishments.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know how much time you get away from the track when you're down in Charlotte, but what's some of your favorite things to do during World Finals week when you're not at the track?
Go to Top Golf. Of course, go golfing. Go get some, food at different places that we can go. Really, I go to see the guys at Billistein because they're right there, and Simpson's there, and that's kind of cool to see some of those people, that you only see once a year. But really, that's pretty much it for us. And this year we spent a lot of time, prepping stuff and getting ready. So we didn't have a whole lot of time. And of course, as you guys know, with some of the troubles we had, we never stopped working. So I didn't get to do a whole lot this year, but normally that's what we try to do.
All right. And similar question, what's your favorite thing to do in Oswego outside of the racetrack at Super Dirt Week?
I don't leave the track. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. You probably already answered this one earlier. One race car that you would really love to get behind the wheel of that you haven't raced yet.
A super late model.
All right. And we got one last one. What is your favorite wrap on a big block modified that isn't yours? It's got to be someone else's car.
I'd say probably the what used to be. Does it have to be current or past?
It can be passed.
I'd say probably those blue. I think it was Wentworth cars that Brett Hearn had on the quarter
Oh yeah,
panel.
yeah, I remember
Beautiful
those.
cars. Yeah.
Jacob might have to Google those, but I remember. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we were talking all through Charlotte. Said your car was the prettiest, and I've been trying to get you on. I've been trying to get you on the show for a while because I know you're just the guy that drives the really pretty car, and I wanted to get to know you a little bit better, especially after all the success that you've had this year, man. So really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you in 2025 as well.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for having me. And when can you go wrong just talking racing? So.
That's it. We're going to be going through withdrawal here in the next couple months. So looking forward to doing some more.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you guys.
After the Scales is proudly presented by DJD Graphics. From commercial and personal vehicles to racing bikes and cars of all makes, models, and disciplines, DJD Graphics can fully customize your vehicle to suit your needs. For more information, contact Darren and visit his website at www.djdgraphics.com. Tell him Shaun and Jacob sent you to receive special rates.